He's got 20 rushing touchdowns, 20-plus passing touchdowns.
Stafford, he's going to go deep, far sideline. He caught it! He caught it!
Tebow is going to take the ball and surge straight forward. Touchdown! Tim Tebow, touchdown!
Stafford with a play-action throw. Going for it right here. Caught. Touchdown. One play. All it takes in overtime for the Bulldogs.
It is not ridiculous to suggest that Matthew Stafford and Tim Tebow might be the quarterbacks of the number 1 and 2 teams in America going into this season. Glad to have you with us on College Football Live alongside the Hall of Famer Bob Griese. I'm Reese Davis. Fellow College Football Hall of Famer Mark May will join us in a little bit. Molly Karam's here from ESPN.com to sort through all of your feedback, much of which on this day seems to center on the Tim Tebow-Matthew Stafford debate that you somehow stirred up a dog pound and a gator swamp yesterday. You were given the opportunity among 4 quarterbacks, all of them great, Tim Tebow, Matthew Stafford, Chase Daniel, Graham Harrell. Which one would you take? Tough question. You take Stafford. And some people have disagreed with that. Tell me what you like about Matthew Stafford.
Wait, first of all, you made me pick one, right?
That is true.
You had to pick one. That's not fair. When they say, all right, here's 4 great quarterbacks, I did say I would give you the first 3 picks, and I'd take who's ever left and have a good chance of beating your team. So now it comes down to these 2 quarterbacks, Tebow from Florida, Matthew Stafford. They were both the top quarterbacks coming out of school 3 years ago. And I said, Matthew Stafford, I like the way the kid throws. In his offense, I think he does very well. If he were in the other offense, I think he would do a lot better number-wise than he's doing in the Georgia offense. But I like Tim Tebow. I like Matthew Stafford. But give me a guy. I'll say this. For what they've done already, 2 years, I think Tim Tebow has done really well. I think the upside is much higher for Matthew Stafford where he's going than for Tim Tebow. But I like Tebow a lot. I mean, he's a great kid.
Oh, of course. And both are. Both have been terrific quarterbacks so far, and we are splitting hairs, but that's what you get to do in late July before everybody gets to crank things up. Here is Mark May joining us from Phoenix. And Mayday, what do you think? Bob talked about Stafford's upside. Tebow was brilliant winning the Heisman Trophy last year. Which way would you go in this debate? Who's better, Tebow or Stafford?
Well, Bob was moonwalking faster than Michael Jackson back there, but I have to take Tim Tebow. The reason why? Heisman Trophy. He won the Heisman Trophy as a sophomore. And with Tim Tebow, with his size and his strength, he's faster than a speeding bullet. He jumps tall, building to the single bound. That's Tim Tebow, gets it done. Rushing the football, over 20 touchdowns, rushing the football, over 50 total touchdowns on the season. Won the Heisman Trophy, I said that, but what I like about Tebow, they worked on his mechanics last year, completed 67% of his passes last year. I believe he's going to be even better this year.
Well, here's the thing. If you can't find a way to try to separate Tim Tebow from Matthew Stafford, Tim Tebow performs surgical procedures in the offseason when he does the mission trips, or at least assist in them. You got to find some way to try to separate these 2 guys, although as Molly Karam joins us now, Molly, I guess some of the fans have looked for more creative ways to do so.
Yep, a Florida fan named Jason, he sent in a video, and he definitely did his homework. Now, as always, we encourage you to log on to ESPN.com, search Sound Off, and upload a video about your favorite college football team and get on College Football Live just like Jason did. Now, Bob, he makes a very good point.
Are we going to hear from Jason here? Okay, so Jason is going to, I think Jason got into the stat bag and perhaps looked into some empirical evidence to see if he could make his case for his quarterback at Florida.
Well, let's compare their stats from last year, as Tebow is the running quarterback, as everyone says, and Matthew Stafford is the traditional pocket passer. Okay, let's look at their stats. Tim Tebow, 234 completions and 350 attempts. That's 70% completion rating. He had 3,286 yards. Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, had 194 completions and 348 attempts. That's 2,523 yards and a 55% completion rating? And he's supposed to be the pocket passer?
Bob, Jason makes a very good point. What do you think?
I think I'm going to pick Tebow the next time. I mean, it's not a popular pick, and I get all this static, but Urban Meyer has come out and said that this year that Tebow is not going to run the ball as much as he did last year for fear of injury. I think that's the real negative down the road in doing what they do in that offense, Urban Meyer's offense, is that the quarterback runs a lot. Over 200 rushing attempts for Tim Tebow this year. That's just way too many.
Oh, Bob, What do you know about playing the quarterback position? It's not like you were a two-time All-American or a first-round draft pick or won Super Bowls or you're in the NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What do you know about playing the quarterback position?
You know, I will say this: if the quarterbacks were switched and Stafford was with Urban Meyer, it's a different style of offense. It's a wide open running. You got Percy Harvin, you got all these speed guys down there. It's not to say that Georgia doesn't have anything. I think this is going to be the last time I'm going to pick somebody over the other guy. I'm just going to say they're both even. But you know, Tim Tebow's a great kid, and I love him a lot. Matthew Stafford's a good player also.
Yeah, you're just like a politician, Bob.
There you go.
You know, and you can look head-to-head. Jason brought up all of the numbers and so forth, but I think your point's a good one too. You can't just look at the numbers. The style of offense, some styles more conducive to putting up big stats, although both of them had remarkably similar statistics in the head-to-head game won by Georgia last year. Stafford throwing for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. And by the way, when Matthew Stafford throws 1 or fewer interceptions, which he did against Florida last year, Georgia's 14-2 in his young career. Protecting the football is of the utmost importance for him. Tebow also had a very good game. The big difference there, obviously, the number of times that Tebow wound up on his keister, which is the reason I think that Georgia fans believe that they have the opportunity to win the SEC this year. The great defense, so much of that is coming back. All right.